So imagine going to your mom and telling your mom, I want to resign from work to do people's hair and makeup. What's up, beautiful people? Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really do appreciate the time, and I hope that you guys know that by now. My name is Karaho. For some of you guys who are new to the channel, welcome to my channel. And of course, if you're watching this video and you haven't subscribed to my channel as yet, I'd love for you to do so before we continue with the video. It's the red rectangular box somewhere down there. Please click onto that and click onto the bell next to the subscribe button in order for you to receive notifications when I do upload my next video. In today's video, I am giving you guys what I promised to give you, which is a life update / where have I been video. I decided to kind of look cute. I mean, this is day 2 of the lockdown, and I decided to just glam up a little bit, look kind of good, sit comfortably, and then have a conversation with you guys. I'm going to be talking about a part of my life that it's not really a big deal for me, but it has changed quite a lot of things, and it's quite a journey. It's still a journey. I'm still working on, redefining it properly and making sure that it's as solid as possible. We're going to be talking about decisions that we make that affect our lives, that affect people around us, and the choices that we are kind of like forced to make in life in order for us to grow, whether we like it or not. So it's just basically having conversation, like it's a serious conversation, but I'll try to make it light as possible. So if you are interested in watching this type of video, then continue watching. If not, don't forget to click onto the subscribe button before you head out to the next video. I might be uploading a video that will be beneficial to you very, very soon. If you're interested in how I created this makeup look, then you should check out the next video. If you're watching this when this is being uploaded, you're gonna have to wait a couple of days. And if you're watching this a couple of days after this was published, you can go ahead and click onto this icon that's going to pop up over here. Click onto that and it will lead you directly to the video where I create this look right here. Anyway, without any much more further to say, let's kind of get straight into the video. I've been trying to figure out how I'm going to structure this entire video because I don't want to spend an hour talking about myself. Just kind of been, it's a bit much even for me. I talk a lot, so I had to find a way to kind of structure out this video, and I have these points that I made that I'm going to use to have this conversation with you guys. So if you see me looking down, just know that I am reading through the points that I made for myself so that I don't go off topic too much. Okay, in my previous video I mentioned that I am unemployed by choice, and that actually got people asking me quite a lot of questions, especially on my WhatsApp. I had I think 2 DMs on Instagram, but mostly on my WhatsApp, especially from people who know me, people who went to school with me, varsity with me, that type of thing. So it kind of stirred up a little bit of questions on my WhatsApp. So just to clarify what I mean by unemployed by choice, it's actually quite self-explanatory because I am unemployed, that's correct, by choice. I chose to be unemployed. I made the decision to not have an employer, to not be an employee. I just didn't want to do that. That just wasn't for me. I tried it out, I gave it my best shot, but it just wasn't for me. So if I decided that I want to get a job, I could fix up my CV and then apply for jobs that I would qualify for or that I'm interested in, right? Not saying I'll get the job instantly, but I can go through that process and I'll still get a job because of my qualifications. I graduated twice, national diploma as well as BTech, and I also have experience. I have work experience. If I ever decide I want to go back to working for someone, but I highly doubt that's gonna happen. But just to clarify the whole unemployed by choice thing, okay? The first thing I'm going to talk about is the resignation. When did I know that I want to resign from work? What triggered the decision? What influenced the decision? And what exactly made me end up sending in that resignation letter? I graduated from varsity, got a job 3 months after that. I actually got the job the day my uncle passed away. The day my uncle passed away, a couple of hours later, my boss called me and said, hey, would you like to come work? It's the same boss that I worked for when I was doing my in-service training. So he called me and said, hey, don't you want to come back? You know, we need the help and all that stuff. So I was like, okay, cool, I will come through, but it's gonna have to happen after April, because I got the call in April. So it was 4 months. It was actually 4 months after I graduated. 1st of May came through, started with my work. I was excited, I was happy, you know, I have all this knowledge and now I just want to put it into practice, you know, moving from that theory type of vibe to more of practical work and getting the experience that I really need in order for me to get to a higher level, to get to, you know, becoming a professional quantity surveyor. That was the plan at that time. It was exciting, everything was good. And when I told my dad about this, he was really, really excited. He was super happy because finally somebody is going to follow in his footsteps, because he was more into construction as well as agriculture and other things, but he was into construction for quite some time. He was more of a carpenter because he was really good with his hands when it comes to carving things and all that stuff. So he was like a subcontractor on a lot of projects with other companies, bigger companies and whatever. So I thought to myself, this is great. Now that I'm coming through with all the legal part of it, like the right procedure part of getting a tender, working, constructing and all of that stuff, he will be the talent, or he will be the hands, like does all the heavy duty stuff, and I'll just be more on the procurement part of it. Am I using the word right? I don't know. The project management side of it, yes. So that was the plan, you know. He was excited about that, I was excited about that. It was a Sunday in July. I got a call from my dad and he was like, I'm coming through to Polokwane this week on Wednesday, so I want us to meet up and have lunch. I was excited. I was like, yes, I finally get to buy you lunch. I finally get to literally go out bonding over construction, bonding over something. Wednesday comes along, I don't get a call from my dad. And I think I was busy as well, and I didn't really think too much about it. I knew I had to call him. I had it in the back of my mind to call him to check why didn't he come, but I thought to myself, he probably got caught up with something, so he will call me when he's ready to come through to Polokwane, when he has time to come through to Polokwane. So I wasn't really bothered that much, but it was at the back of my mind that I needed to call him to find out why he didn't come through, if we're going to reschedule or not. Fast forward, that Saturday, that very same Saturday that I was supposed to meet up with him on the previous Wednesday, we get a call and they were letting us know that my dad passed away. So there I was, I'm thinking, now it makes sense, you know. It makes sense as to why he couldn't make the Wednesday meeting that we had. It all made sense. But at that time, I was emotionally numb, lost my uncle, and in May I lost a friend of mine, and now my dad. This is all in 2017. So now the question is, what happens to the plan? You know, we had a plan, so what happens to the plan? Where do I start? Do I continue with it? What happens? You know, I had all these questions. I wasn't asking them out loud, but I was asking these questions to myself. And time went by, I kept on going to work. I just wanted to work on a project from start to finish. I wanted to see the process of it. I wanted to see how to handle those disputes that come through, challenges that happen, what it's like to be on site working with construction, you know, working with contractors, all of that stuff. I wanted to experience the fullness of quantity surveying in just one project. That's all I wanted. And then finally, my boss threw the project onto me and was like, okay, cool, there you go. You can work on this. I was nervous but excited at the same time, because finally I get to find out if this is really what I want to do. Because the question kept on coming up, am I really doing what I want to do, or was I doing this because I'm going to get closer to my dad? My property investment mentor mentioned this to me. He mentioned it after I kind of like told him my life story or so, and he was like, you attached a sentimental value to your job. Your job meant you getting closer to your dad. Your job meant, you know, a good relationship between you and your dad. Something was growing from that. And the minute the dad was disconnected, your job made no sense anymore. It just didn't make sense without that person anymore, because that person was connected to your job. I realized literally a couple of weeks ago, not so long ago, that's what I realized. And I was like, that is really true. That's what it was. So I'm going off topic. January, I got the project. There I was, finally working. It was fun. I really enjoyed that. That experience alone, no one can ever take away from me. I've learned so much. I've made good acquaintances. That was a really good experience for me. Finally, I have what I'm looking for. I have a project that I'm running. I should be happy. I should feel fulfilled. I should feel like I have a bit of purpose. I should be in a place where now I understand that this is really what I want to do, but I wasn't there. I didn't feel like I was passionate about what I was doing. I didn't feel like I was giving my all in that job. So the questions are still there. What am I going to do? Is this what I want to do? And finally, I got to a point where I realized, no, this isn't it for me. I didn't have peace. I wasn't at peace with where I was. I wasn't at peace with who I am. I wasn't at peace at all. I felt like I've lost myself. I felt like I didn't know what I wanted in life. I felt like I was just roaming around, going where anybody wants me to go. I felt like someone else was making decisions for my life, for me. I don't want to lie to nobody. That is not a good place to be at all. I was really angry with myself because I didn't know where I wanted to be, what I wanted to do, and in turn, that affected everybody around me. My mom always thought, why are you so angry? And I didn't understand why I was so angry until I realized that I really don't have peace within me. I'm not at peace. That's when I made the decision that no matter what, I'm going to fight for peace. I want every single thing that I do in my life to bring me peace. I want to have peace with every decision that I make. I want to have peace with every person that is in my life. I want to have peace with where I am in life. If I don't feel like I'm at peace with the decisions that I make and where I am in life, I need to find a way to get to that peaceful place. So ever since that day, I knew what I wanted to do because I was chasing after peace and my job was not giving me peace. So that's the story behind why the resignation, the story behind why I needed to let go of my job. It's simply because of peace. To put it in simple terms, it's peace. But peace requires a lot of things. Peace requires you to make decisions that will maintain the peace. Peace requires you to choose the things that bring you peace. You will always know when you make a decision if this is going to give you peace or not. You always know. And it's not an easy thing to do because the things that bring you like that pure peace are the things that your mind cannot comprehend. Like your mind just doesn't understand. It's not an easy choice. It might seem easy, but it's not an easy choice, especially when you've become accustomed to so many things. In order for you to choose against the things you are more accustomed to, it requires balls. Excuse my language, but it requires massive balls because you have to literally choose against yourself because you were this person and that's why you don't have peace, right? Now you have to be this person to have peace and to make the choices that this person used to make is easy, but to make the choices that this new person that you want to be has to make, not easy, because the things you've been running away from for a long time. Yeah, you have to confront so many things that you've been hiding from for a really long time in order for you to get to the point where you're like, I've got peace. Number 2, what was the plan? Did I have a plan as to how I'm going to, make money, as to how I'm going to make a living, as to how I'm going to finally get out of my mother's house? Did I have a plan? Yes, of course I had a plan, and it was great. In my mind, it was amazing. I had everything jotted down to a T. Everything. I had a plan. I was ready for it. I was standing by and I was like, this is it. I've got this. Now that I have a decision, the reason why, and a plan, I can finally talk to my mom about it. That was the hardest conversation I've ever had in my life. And that was the hardest decision I've ever had to make because it went against what my mom wanted for my life. It's easy for me to make a decision for myself and be like, I want to be happy. I choose to be happy. I. And sometimes we forget to look around us. How is this going to affect the people in my life? How is this going to alter the relationships that you have? I had to think about my mother, my brothers, especially my little brother, my grandmother, and I also had to think about my boyfriend. We just started dating a couple of months ago, and next thing you know, I want to quit my job. Like, okay, why? You know, I mean, this person is looking for a female who is independent and all that stuff. He finally finds the person, we're dating, everything is fine, everything is dandy, and all of a sudden, I want to quit. What happened to being independent? How are you going to be independent without some sort of source of income? I mean, at least that's what I thought when I was making the decision. How is this going to affect my relationship? How is this going to affect me and how I view myself when I'm, with this person? But that was not the hard part. He was actually very supportive of it. And funny enough, he has been where I've been. So he understands the feeling of trying to find peace and trying to find your true purpose. He understood it. So it wasn't hard for him to accept it, but it still was a change, even though he was understanding. Then I had to think about my brothers. Well, my older brother, not that much, because it really wouldn't affect him much. Here and there, I would ask him for money if I needed money, and that will have to change his entire budget and all of that stuff. Yeah, I get that. My little brother, he was in varsity, still is in varsity. And my mom would give him money and I would give him money as well. Like, I'd give him extra cash because I know how it feels to have a stable allowance that comes in monthly and then not having enough money left for you to at least go to watch a movie. He's a guy, he probably wants to, he has a girlfriend, wants to take a girlfriend out or something. Whatever the case might be, I knew how it was and I had to think about that because now what I've made him accustomed to, I won't be able to fulfill anymore. And that is a change. That's going to change a lot because he kind of maybe was relying on that for certain things, right? So my grandmother, on the other hand, it affected her because it affected my mom. A decision like that does affect things. It does change a lot of things. I was lucky enough that I didn't have a huge responsibility like a car to pay for, rent to pay for, a baby or anything like that. I didn't have much expenses that were like critical at all. So cool, the big person or the one and only person that I knew this entire decision was going to affect was my mom. And having the conversation with her was not easy as well. A part of me wanted her to be like, it's okay, I got you, do whatever you want to do, find yourself and we'll figure it out and all of that stuff. A part of me wanted that, but a part of me knew for a fact that it wasn't going to come out like that. It's going to shock her because she doesn't understand where it comes from. It's going to, make her question a lot about her parenting style. Did she raise me good enough? Did she do her best, with raising me? I knew that a lot of questions were going to come up. I knew that she was going to feel inadequate. And that part for me was the part that actually hurt the most. The fact that, she's going to start looking down at herself as if she didn't do a good job, and she did a damn good job. She did a great job, So finally I got to have the conversation with my mom, and having the conversation with my mom was very interesting. I mean, imagine going to your mom and telling your mom, I want to resign from work to do people's hair and makeup. The first thing my mom asked was, are you sure you're okay? Are you sure this is not more than just, peace? Because I think she thought that the grief was catching up on me and I wasn't making the right decisions. I was making decisions based off emotions and all of that stuff. To be honest with you, part of me was making a decision based on emotions. It really was. And I wanted to free myself from all of that. After the conversation, my mom spoke to my grandmother. She went home to vent to her own mother, and she vented, and then my grandmother calls me and she's like, what is this I hear? What's going on? So on and so forth. And then next thing you know, my grandmother calls me and says, you know what, I think I want you to go see a psychologist. I'm like, okay. Not that it's gonna change anything, but if you really want that, then okay. And she's like, no, I really think you need to go speak to someone, talk about, you know, what's happening in your life and all of that stuff, because you can't really make this type of decision without thinking. To be fair, when I spoke to my mom, I spoke to her in July, and then I said I'll quit my job at the end of the year, right? The plan was to resign at the end of the year, like December 2019. But as I kept on going to work and all of that stuff, I just felt that burning sensation within me. Like there was just something inside of me that was burning so badly. It was as if, you know, when you're holding on to something very high and you don't want to let go because you might just fall and hurt yourself. I don't know how to explain it. It just felt like that, and it felt like something within me that just kept on saying, let go, let go, let go. Like I just felt like I needed to let go. And finally I was like, you know what, I can't do this anymore. This very month, this is my last month. I'm not gonna go back to work anymore. I can't wait for December. I'm really sorry, that's not going to happen. My mom was just like, what the hell is going on with you? Are you okay? Oh my gosh, I really hate what's happening right now. It's the worst. It's the worst. The sun is out and it's messing up this entire quality. I'm really sorry about this, guys, but I need to finish up this video anyway. So my grandmother offered to pay for the psychologist, and I was quite excited, to be honest, because I've never been to a psychologist or a therapist before, and I'm a person that has a lot that I think about, and I really need someone to get in my head. Like I really needed someone to get in my head just to find out like what is going on in there. Okay, I needed that. So I was excited because finally I get to talk to someone who is not my parent, someone who might understand. Maybe I am harboring some feelings that I don't know of. So my grandmother paid for the psychologist. I then went in, had a conversation with him, and one thing I got in there knowing is that I have already made up my mind. I had already made a decision and a choice. Like nothing was going to change the choice that I've made. Nothing. It doesn't matter what it was. I was 100% sure that this is the right choice. I still am, actually. I'm still 100% sure that the decision that I made was perfect for me. So finally, after the psychologist visit, my mom, they sat down with me, asked me the same question. Are you sure you want to do this? And I was like, I'm 100% sure that I want to do this. Nothing is going to change my mind. So they were finally like, okay, cool. If that's what you want to do, then we will support you. It's very hard for us to understand, but eventually we will understand. And for now, do what you have to do, and just know that if you ever need help, we will always be here for you. So that was a relief. July was my last month at my job, and I finally was jobless, unemployed. I had all this time to, you know, do what I wanted to do. So I went full force into YouTube. I filmed the videos I wanted to film. I started uploading. I jumped straight ahead into the plan that I had for myself, and it didn't end up well. The plan that I had for my life didn't work out the way I wanted it to. Everything was falling apart. I didn't get as many clients as I thought I was gonna get. YouTube was not going so great. I felt tired. I felt disappointed. I felt uninspired, had no motivation. I just felt displaced. You know, I didn't know where I was again. But there was one thing that I had. One thing that I had. And that was peace. Till this day, I feel the peace. I'm content with where I am, filled with joy. I am at peace. I'm filled with the Spirit. I'm connected with God. I can feel my connection with God. Listen, I've never felt peace like this. I've never been so sure about my life like I'm so sure right now. I have a vision for where I'm going. I have a goal and I have a plan. And I am taking my time building on this vision. I'm taking my time solidifying this foundation, because this right here, what I want to do, makes so much sense to me. It's so clear, I can touch it, and it's burning within me. I just want to make sure that it comes into fruition. That's all I need to make sure. So what am I saying with this video? There comes a time in your life where you are faced with a choice that you have to make. A choice that will bring instant change, instant difference in your life. Like the minute you make the decision, you're going to see the changes. When you get to that point, always be true to yourself. Because even though I thought about my mom, I thought about my boyfriend, I thought about my family, the choice had to come from me. I had to make the decision. It had to be about me. Because if my mom dies tomorrow, my boyfriend and I break up, and I am alone, I have to be content with where I am. I have to be happy and at peace with the choices that I make because I made them for myself. I won't have to blame my mom for choosing something. I won't have to blame my boyfriend for choosing something. I'm going to have to be like, I'm happy with where I am. So when you're faced with decisions like that, you really need to look to yourself, not anybody else. You really need to look within yourself, find your true self, and have a conversation with her or him. You need to get to that. It is important. It's so important to listen to yourself because you're never really wrong. You are never wrong. Like you've been instilled with a spirit so strong. People call it intuition. For me, it's the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit inside of me speaks so loud. And the choices we make is based on whether we ignore or we listen to the Spirit. I'm grateful that I listened to my spirit when I had to listen to him. I don't regret it. Not even a single bit. I do not regret it at all. So yeah, that is my story. That's where I am. I thought I should share with you guys, and hopefully this will help someone, because at the end of the day, the decisions that we make are mostly affected by the people around us, mostly affected by the environment that we're in. And it's really hard for you to choose that the focal point for my decision is this. But the minute you choose your focal point for your decisions in your life, it makes everything easier for you. It makes making decisions and choices in your life so much easier. So for example, if you're going to make the focal point making R1,000,000, every decision that you make in your life that does not lead you to R1,000,000, you will not make. You always choose the one thing that is leading you to that R1,000,000. So you need to find a focal point of your decisions. My focal point of my decisions is peace. If something is not leading me to peace, I don't want it. I'm not going for it. So this is me, 27, living in my mother's house and building an empire. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you've reached this point, please leave me your heart in the comment section down below just to show that you watched the entire video. And of course, give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video, if you found it helpful. Don't forget to share this video with anybody who might want to hear it. And of course, if you're watching the video up until this point and you haven't subscribed to my channel as yet, I'd love for you to do so before you move on to the next video. And as per usual, I'd love to wish you love, joy, peace, happiness, and greatness, of course, but most importantly, blessings directly from above onto you and yours. Till we meet again in the next video, of course. Mwah. Goodbye.